My name is Tasneem. I'm the senior manager at 98 percentile in the HR department. And today we did a wonderful drive with XLR. It was amazing right from the very beginning, from the very first day when I got in touch with them till today. I think it was an extremely smooth journey with them. There were multiple follow-ups done by the representatives in order to check that we would be, what time we would be coming, how many people would be coming, what vehicle we would get. To that extent, they were so precise in giving all the information to us. It was extremely great to get associated with them and have a drive at XLR campus. So we are very, very happy that we got a chance to do this. Now, coming to the students, what XLR had, I think they were extremely enthusiastic. They were well prepared. They were aware of what they are coming for. I think there was some back-end preparation which they did that was commendable. They also were very confident and they were open to any kind of thing we were asking them to do. That was I think the best part. Now, I really hope we have a very, very fruitful association with each one of them and XLR in future. We are really looking forward to have many more drives like this.
Hi everyone, my name is Prachi Sharma and I'm the Senior Project Manager for IT Department at 98th percentile. So today we were here for this IT bootcamp, right, this technical drive and at XLR. So it was a great experience and I would feel that the students, they are the freshers, right, but it doesn't seem like that. So if I talk about their technical and cognitive ability, they all seems pretty good in that and that's what I felt. And I guess they have been taught pretty well at XLR, so that's how they have performed good in their aptitude and the technical tests. So I wish them all the best and it was a very great experience over here.
Hi, this is Patan, Technology Consulting Manager from 98th percentile. We visited XLR for the campus placement drive and it went very well today. Ms. Ambika, Ms. Pragati, everyone received us greatly here and we had a lot of enjoyable time here. The students even had great experience with us. They were interactive, they had good aptitude and all the technological skills they showed. I think they were all well and we really appreciate their time that they spared to us and I think we will be doing a great job. We are expecting a lot of people to be hired from them. Let's see. it was a great experience altogether.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
From entering into this cyber tower to exiting out of this tower, the XLR team has been received me with such a care and pleasure.
I am the part of this XLR since 4 months. From the third month itself, they have conducted the placement sessions from the third month itself, and this is the fourth month, and this is the 98th percentile is one of the placement drive I have attended so far, and attending to this drive is such a good experience for me. All the HRs and the team made us feel very comfortable and confident.
XLR helped me a lot, and I experienced a lot of things today. So I'm really hope to be I placed in that company. I'm confident about that. Thank you.
Take it. Hemant, are you able to hear me?
All right. Hi, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to yet another session from Python and SQL by XLR. All right. Let me share my screen, and we will get started. Okay. Please let me know if my screen is visible and if my audio is clear. Yeah? Okay, perfect. Thank you for confirming, and we will get started. Okay, so we have our good old Jupyter notebook here. How do we open this? Do you guys remember the command? If yes, please type it in. So the command is, it is not .m, Python -n notebook. So that gives us our Jupyter notebook. Okay. So we get a tree like this, and whatever the file that I have shared over the LMS, you can just drag and drop it onto this. Okay. Or you can go to wherever your Python has been installed, and you can paste it there. Okay. So the easiest one is you can open this, take the file, and just drag and drop it onto this. Okay. So let's get started, and we will do a quick recap of what we did. Right. One moment. Right. So we did the built-in string methods where we learned about center, then count, then encode, decode, right? And then we worked with the list where we understood the different operations that we can do within the list, like deletion, then indexing, right? Then slicing with or negative slicing too, right? So we also did the matrices. Okay. So the matrix operation can be also performed. Right. And then we also went with other built-in functions like length with len, min, max, right? And also same goes with the tuples as well. Yes, of course, type. All right. So how do we convert a tuple into a list? So you have a tuple. How do you convert into a list? Right? You just have to use the list method. List of tuple. And the other way around. Tuple of your list. So both works. Right? It is as simple as that. Okay. So then we worked with the dictionaries where we understood similar attributes of the properties like length, len, that is keys, items, right? And also the how do you get the value from a dictionary using the get method, right? Get of, pass the key into this. Okay. So we did the pop, also update. Update when you have two different dictionaries and you want to update one dictionary over the other. Okay. So we also understood the example, right? Let's say that you have some new data in your database, you can fetch that and update it using the update method. Okay. And we also learned the dictionary comprehension, right? For example, let's say that we did it with the list, right? List comprehension. Like if you want the squares or the cubes. So for x in range of 5. So the code looks something like this, right? Only thing is it would change for the dictionary with the brackets. Changes to flower brackets. Okay. Right. We learned quite a lot of them. And we also did the the hands-on as well. So now it is time to move on to the date and time. Okay. So the date and time, and as well as the calendar module with and including the time module. Okay. So the date and time helps us to understand, and work with the date and time objects, right? The date and time library. So when I say work with objects, it allows us to manipulate and also display different dates and times. So date and time. So for this, we have an important tuple in this called as the time tuple. Okay. So when you are reading the time object, you get a tuple. What is a tuple? It looks something like this, right? It would look something like this, and each of them will have different kinds of elements. Okay, so when you try to read the tuple, you get the year, you get the month, you get the day of the month, then hour, then you get the minute, you get the second, and the weekday. What day of the week it is, right? And so on. So let us try to get this within the code. So how do we do that? With the help of import statement. Import time. So with this, you will be able to assign it to a variable. Current time is time dot local time. Okay, so there is a inbuilt method within this which points us to the local time. So when you do this, we can print the current time and you can see. So we get the year, what year it is, what month it is, 2023. Month is 12, that is December, and it is December 1st. So TM of, that is day of the month, which stands for M day. Okay. Then you have the hour. Hour is 19. 19 is, it is the 24-hour format. Okay, 19 stands for 7 and 7, 22. Okay, minute is 22. Then 47 seconds. And what day of the week it is? It says 4. Okay, so what does this mean? It is the fourth. It is in the 4th position, and this and it starts from 0. Okay, so today is 4 because it is Friday and it starts from Monday, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it amounts to the number 4. Then you have what day of the year it is, right? It is the 335th day. That is today, right? And also, is there any daylight saving time? So since we are living in India, we do not have any daylight saving. Therefore, it is 0. Okay. So with the help of this, it looks something like this, right? It is a tuple. Generally, you can't really change this, of course, because it represents the current time. And if I change this, can you see it updates, right? The second is 28 right now. If I do it again, it changes to 30. It has changed to 32. So therefore, it keeps on updating. Okay. So how do we extract these information, from here? Anyone has any idea in this? Since we have learned quite a bit in Python, how do we get this into a variable? Let's say I want to read the year. What would be the year? So can you please type in? Yeah, please type in your answers. Okay, so correct. So most of you got it. So you can either use the indexing, or the best way is, see, indexing is you won't be able to remember it, right? If I say extract hour from this tuple, right? Will you count the index every time and then print the hour? No, right? You can't really do that. A very user-friendly method would be using this variable, use time time year. So now let's see what your the year contains. It contains 2023. Okay. So this is a fairly easier and a simpler way, right? You don't really have to by heart the indexing. Otherwise, you'll have to by heart, right? All of them, all the 9 tuples. So therefore, you can use this. So if you have to extract, what hour it is, can you type in your answers now? How is it that I'm able to print without the print statement, right? That's an interesting question. Good one. So you see that there is a feature within Jupyter where after a block, this is a block of code, right? If you want to print anything, just use it. Use that particular variable and it prints it. But it has to be at the end always. So if I add it somewhere here, right, it prints nothing. So it has to be somewhere at the end. Therefore, if it has to be current time, I can do it, right? So if you have carefully observed, yeah, I think you will be able to get the pattern, right? So every time if I try to use print, right, it can be time consuming for me because print is nothing but your debugging statement, and you should be able to fairly debug quickly. And this is one simpler way, right? And it doesn't have to be at the end of the cell itself. You can use a new cell if you want, like this. If I try to print hour, it immediately says that there is an error. So let's do the hour, right? So I think all of you got this right. So current time dot tm underscore hour. So therefore now hour it prints 90. Right? So with the help of this, you will be able to print any of the date and time that you want. Okay, that is the current one. All right. So why would you require the date and time? Where would you use it? Are you do any applications display any sort of time? What time it is right now? Generally, they don't, because you will be using that application with the help of a computer or a mobile, which by default displays the time pretty much at all times, right? So where would you use a date and time object? So to answer this, it can be as simple as you are filling a form. Okay, when you fill the form, you type in your name, age, gender, then your class, right, or anything. It could be the blood group or anything at all, and it all gets stored in the database, right? But how do you know that when, at what time, what day it was stored? Okay, so in order to do that, we can use something like this. It is with the date and time object, and if you just say get my local time, and if you just format the time in the way that you want, you will be able to add that, right? That is entry created, right? Entry created at, and it will say the time, what time it was created at. Okay, so where would you use this particular time? It is not just about knowing what time it was created, right? So this can help with a lot of analytics. Okay, I'll talk a little about analytics now, where you might be dealing with some time series data. So what time series data is, for every interval there is some data which is recorded, right? So you will know at what time what sort of data came into the database, right? And also you can let's say that you are entering some sales, like sales data. Let's say what was the product I sold. Okay, what was the quantity that was sold, and what was the amount of the product. So if you know this, just this data, you will be able to append the date object, and that is date time. That is sold. Okay, this will be a date time object. And now, let's say that your boss comes and asks you, I want to know how many products we sold yesterday, right? And I want to know what was the total profit that we made yesterday, right? It could be yesterday, or it could be the weekly profit, the monthly profit, or the yearly profit, right? Biannual, right? Quarterly. It could be literally anything. As long as you have your date and time, you will be able to easily filter out, saying that these were the These were the sales that were made, and with the help of your some of the functions, could be the sum or anything else, right? You'll be able to give the actual value, right? That is the total sales, right? Or total profit, or loss, anything, literally anything, right? As long as you have the data, you hold the power to do all sorts of analysis within that, and Python helps tremendously with the help for the data analysis. Okay, right. So that's a little about what is the potential of Python programming. Okay, so and also the potential of date and time, right? We can just simply think that we are just printing current date, current time. That's not it, right? There are a lot of applications to this. Okay, and you could also say that, let's say that there was an attack on the system. Attack, when I say attack, it could be a hacker which hacks in, and when they're in the system, certain things will be logged. Right? Log means certain user actions will be logged into the database or the file system. It will say that these were the actions performed, and along with that, the date time will be tagged along with it. So they will get to know at what time the system was hacked into, right? And what were the things done after that? At what time each action was performed. So this is how powerful your date time can be. Okay, right. So next we will get into the calendar module. Okay, so the calendar, it's pretty simple. Similar to your time import, you will just say import calendar, and second. All right. So where are we? Calendar, right? So calendar equals to calendar dot month of, it takes two arguments now. Okay, this method, it takes two arguments. So one is the year 2023, and second is the month, right? Month is, let's give the current month. Okay. So when we do this, one second. Yeah. Print. I'll use print because I want formatting. Okay, that is also one of the things that you can see. It may be easy, just doing calendar here, but the order is kind of messed up, right? Order means it is not exactly the order; it is the format, right? It is giving me a linear format. It puts everything into one line. Okay, and see all these. We have the new line here, right? Everything will be gone when you use print. Print. Yeah. Right? So all the /n, what we saw, right? So that will be a proper representation of a new line, right? So this is what it gives us. Okay. Why we use import? Okay. So Python alone can't do everything. It takes the help of its library, that is the inbuilt libraries. Okay. One of the inbuilt libraries is this time, this calendar, right? Then we have math, right, to perform the mathematical operations. Why do we import it is we have to. Is my audio all clear, guys? I can see that it says not audible. Okay. Yep. Can you guys please confirm if the audio is having any issues. Okay. Everyone says that it is clear. Please check your network, Manoj, or try to increase the volume as well. All right. So as I was talking about the import, right? So Python will have a lot of libraries, like library 1, library 2, and so on, up to library n. So all of these, all of these will be within this Python, and it will make use of it only when it imports like this, right? So that is like a special ability that Python gets. So similarly, for our calendar, we have this. It is calendar library. Okay, for math, we have the math library. Similarly. Okay. So this gives us a proper formatted calendar. Okay. So let's say that you take this. Can you not print it on a paper easily? Right? It is ready to print, ready to be printed onto the paper because it is all formatted. And if you change the year, let's say I give 2021, and it has changed. The calendar has changed accordingly. And let's say I give 1, right? It says January 2021, and that is how you can view any calendar that you want. Okay. So dynamically, if you have to print, display some calendar to the user, you can do this, right? Similar to what we do here. That is on the user interface. If you want to print that, you can do that. All right. Next, it has a few methods. We'll look at a couple of them. So let's say I want to know what weekday it was by passing the date. Okay. Day of week. So there is a method within the calendar module. Calendar dot weekday, and pass your date. It is first goes in the year 2023, then your month, then your day. So when you do this, it gives 4. So what day of the week it is today? It is 4. Right? 4 is Friday. Okay. So let's check tomorrow, the 2nd. It should give 5, right? 3rd, it gives 6. What does 4th give now? Can anyone answer this? So 3 gives us 6 here, the day of the week. What will 4, that is the 4th, give us? 4th of December. Okay, good. All right. So most of you guessed it right. It is 0, right? Why it is 0? Because it is the beginning of the week. 4th is a Monday, right? So it starts from Monday. So 0 is Monday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till Sunday. Sunday will be 6. Okay. Just like indexing, it starts from 0. Okay. Do not get confused there. It is not going to print greater than 6. It will not be 7 or 8. Okay. It will not be even Monday. It won't say Monday. It will just say 0. Right. So next one. So if I say 0, you can easily understand that it is Monday. Okay. So next, how do we check if it is a leap year or not? If that particular year is a leap year or not, right? So generally you can write a a function for this, right? So which is not too complicated, right? You can just use the modulus of 4. So instead of that, we have another method, right? Let's take a year and pass 2023, and we can simply use a condition. If calendar dot is leap, so there is a method called is leap, and pass the year. Then you will just say print year is a leap year. Okay. Then else we'll just say year is not a leap year. Okay. So let's run this. It says 2023 is not a leap year. Okay. So what is the next leap year coming in? It is 2024, right? So it is a leap year, right? Then we can check the last one, 2020. 2020 is also a leap year. So someone wants to try 2100, the year 2100. So it is also not a leap year, right? Okay, so it depends on what year it is, and you can try it within. Okay, and you can even break this code, guys. I want you guys to try different values and try to break this code. So how do we do it? Let's say I pass in 13, right? So in this case, I was trying to print the month of the year 2021, and month is 13. So it gives us an error. It says list index out of range, and it is expecting only till 12, right? And let's say I give some negative value, right? Again, it says bad month number -1, and it says must be 1 to 12. So it gives us the direction also, right? What you should be doing. So use a number between 1 to 12, right? So it will be like this. Okay. So next we have the time module. Okay. So time, we just have to import. 1 second. What if we print the next year or any year after 2023? Yes, you can simply write this to find all the leap years, right? This condition will check whether the year is leap or not. Okay, it is the inbuilt function. You are not writing any other code. You are using an inbuilt function which says is leap. Okay, and this will just give you the answer. So this is the custom print statement that we have written, saying that whether it is a leap year or not. Okay, and you can use any number, say 1994, 2000. So 2000 was a leap year, right? So you can use that. Okay, I hope it is clear. Any questions in this other than the ones that I've answered? Okay, if not, we can move forward. There are quite a lot of built-in functions. You will know how many there are. Like, you can't really know how many there are, but you will know what all there are that you can use, you can import and use. Okay, as and when you progress with the Python course, you will get more and more libraries. You'll be dealing with more and more of them. Okay, right. So let's move on. The time module, right? You will import time. Similar to your calendar, you have the time as well, right? The same thing. I will import this, and then what we can do, current time. Okay, if you want to print the current time, you can use time.c time. There is an inbuilt method again, and you can print the current time. And it says Friday, December the 1st, and it is 7:47:44 seconds, and it is the year 2023. Okay. So if you do not use any formatting, it would look something like this as a string. Okay. No, 2100 is not a leap year. You can check it out. So using this, the same library, we can use, we can get more data. Current timestamp. As you can use time dot time, and you can print the current timestamp, and it will look something like this. Okay, so this is nothing but your epoch time. Okay, so there is something called as an epoch time. If you just look it up, you'll be able to understand. So this is the time that is time in seconds. Okay, so this is the time in seconds from what day? It starts from 1/1/1970. Okay, from then how many seconds have passed till now? That is called as the epoch time. Okay, so when we were dealing with how to solve the the date and time problems, okay, how to easily get the current time, and how to easily get the formatting of the time. So what what the engineers did, they started calculating the time from this date. Okay, that is from 1970, and till now, this is running like this. Okay, and you can see that these are the number of seconds that have passed, and it is updating constantly. It is updating every seconds, and using this you'll be able to convert it to other formats as well. Okay, so this always gives you the current time in seconds, current date and time. Right. All right. One moment, guys. Give me 1 moment. I'll be back. Okay, sorry about that. I hope you understood what epoch time means. It is the timestamp in seconds. And if I change this, right? If I change this, it will, if I update it, it will change, right? You can see that. All right, so let's move on to the next one, where you can print the, the GMT. That is the UTC time. Time dot GM time. And the UTC time looks something like this. Okay, and what does it say? 2023 12/1. What is the hour? 14. 14 is 2 p.m. Okay, 2 p.m. 21 minutes 33 seconds. And if you look at the current GMT time, 2:21 p.m. Right? Same thing. We got the same thing here, but in the tuple. Right? So with the GMT, you will be able to convert it to any other timestamp. Okay, any other timestamp as a different time zone. Okay, right. So what is our time zone? It is plus 5 hours 30 minutes. Okay, that is the Indian time zone. Okay, right. So next, you can also format them. Formatting the time. So how do you do that? We can just take a variable, formatted time. You can take time dot string format time. Yes, and you can pass what is the format that you want it in, and the format will be, I'll say, I want the year, then I want the month. So these are the codes that it has, the inbuilt codes. Then I want the day, %d. Then I want the hour. Then I want a colon between that. Then I want the minute, and then again colon, and then the second. Right? With this local time. So where is our local time? We didn't define the local time, is it? Second. I thought we had it somewhere. Yeah, we have it. Okay, it is saying current time. So let me take the current time itself. Still it doesn't work. Let me define it one more time. Okay. Let me just see what is the issue. Yeah, that was the thing. So I had current time here, right? I just needed the local time. So then formatted time will be something like this. So we have the year, the month, the day, and also the hour, minute, and seconds. So it is the way that I want it to be printed, right? So you can choose your format. Okay. Similarly, we have, that is, we can understand. So %y gives us year, and then %m gives us the month. That is with a 0 padded decimal. So month will be like this. So if it is January, it will be 01, or Feb 02. So it will be like that. Then you have %d, which gives you the day of the month. Okay, like this. Then, then you have h, gives us the hour. Then you have n, gives you the minute. Then the other one gives us the second, that is s. Okay, I hope this is clear. These are the basics that we have. Along with that, we have a few more in this, but I want you guys to try it out. Okay, I'll be sharing this with you. Just try it out. So we have %a. %a will give us the abbreviated weekday name. So what do we mean by abbreviated weekday name? It will look something like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and so on. So this is the abbreviated one. So in the shorter form. Okay. So next, %A with capital A gives us the full weekday name. Then you have %B, that is lowercase b. This gives us the abbreviated month. And it looks something like this: Jan, Feb, and so on. Then similar to lowercase b, you will have the uppercase b, right? Uppercase b will give us the full month. Full month name. Then you have %C. So this gives the date and time representation of your locale. Okay, and then you have %X lowercase and capital X. Okay, you can try it out here. Okay, I'll keep this saved and I'll be sharing this notes as well. So for example, I'll take print, remove all of these and try to print %A. Now my formatted time contains Friday, FRI, which stands for the abbreviated weekday. Then if you want the full weekday name, you give capital A. Right? Then D gives you DEC for December. Capital B gives you entire string December. Then you have C gives you, this is something that we saw earlier, gives you a locale appropriate date and time representation for our locale. Okay, then X. Okay, X is something like this, gives us the date, only the date representation, and capital X gives us the time representation, hours, minutes, and seconds. Hope this is clear. With the help of this, you will be able to format it the way you want. Okay. Right. Any questions in this particular topic? Okay. %C, again, as I was saying, it gives us the locale's appropriate date and time representation. It gives both date and time. Okay, and that is for our locale. Locale means it is, we are in India, and depending on the country and how, and each country will display the date and time in different formats, right? Some may use hyphens, some may use date first, then month, some may use month first and then date later, right? So there are different kinds of variations, and since it has detected that our locale is this one, that is English, English format, and also it will display different languages as well, right? That is what it means. So locale is nothing but the region, right? Region, and as well as the the language. Okay. Yes, this is a keyword, and you can see that it is highlighted in blue. Okay. String format time. Okay, so you can format the strings of your local time. That's what it is. Okay. Any other doubts? So what we did, we just used a string, using the local time. We are just extracting the information from there. What we want, what kind of information that we want. We want year, And then month, we need the day, then we need the hour, minutes, and seconds as well. Right? So we are extracting all of these. Right? Okay. Sorry, there was a disturbance in the background. Just wanted to check on that. Okay, so let's finish this and we will take a quick break. Yeah, we have one more, right? So we have something called time.sleep and pass the value in seconds, right? How much of time that you want your code to pause for. Sleeping for 2 seconds. And then we are giving the sleep. And then you print one more. Wait after 2 seconds. So when you print this, you can see that it says sleeping for 2 seconds and it waits for 2 seconds, then prints this one. Okay, so let's give some gap. Right, we'll give a 5-second gap. Change this to 5. Okay, so I'll run this. So it just gives you a notification saying that sleeping for 5 seconds, wait for 5 seconds, and then prints this saying that it is awake. So what this means is you can just use the sleep method to pause your execution for a while, depending on how long you want to wait for. Okay, certain times you want your code to just stop, stop the execution and just pause for a while. Stop as in stop the executing part. Just wait. Okay, so this can be used for automations or where you want to do some retries, right? Retry after 5 seconds, retry after 5 minutes, right? So it could be like that, and you can give some gap in the execution. You don't really need this in general execution of code, but when you want your program to just stop for a while, you will use the sleep method. Okay, so let's take a quick break and we will come back at 8:10. Okay, and we will continue the next modules. Okay, so actually we have the functions, right? So we will learn how to define a function, how to call the function, how to pass the references, right? And we will also learn what anonymous functions are. Okay, so let's be back in 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, I hope everyone is back. If yes, please type in Y so that we can get started. Okay, not many yeses. Everyone is here or not? Okay, right. Perfect. Let's get back then. I can see that there are a couple of questions. It is set for seconds. How to set it for minutes and hours? Quite simple, right? Just convert your hours or minutes into seconds, right? Because it takes in the seconds. Okay. Sir, can you explain about div mod? Okay. So div mod, you know, it is nothing but another built-in function. See, there are like a lot of built-in functions within Python. I don't think we can even learn them, even if we spend the entire duration of our training, because you will learn them as and when you season through this programming language, right? It is not just one shot. Okay. So div mod is one of these inbuilt functions. Let's say sorry, div mod, right? You give two inputs, right? So it is a tuple. It will return a tuple generally. And what are you going to give? One dividend. Okay, let's say 8, and give a divisor, and you give 2. Right? It gives you 4,0. That is, it returns a tuple as the output. So what is this? One is the quotient and the other is the remainder. So what is the quotient? 2 multiplied by 4 gives you 8. And what is the remainder? It is 0, right? And let's change it to 3. Okay. It gives you 2, 2. So one is the quotient, the other is the remainder. Okay. So it is quite rare that we use something like this, but when you're doing some mathematical operations, you might do it, but not in your day-to-day programming for sure. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Shweta. And then can we download the material? Yes, you can download the material. Okay. 5,60. Can you actually divide 60 with 5? Right? So what is the answer? It gives you, one is the quotient, the other is the remainder. Quotient is what? 0. So you just have to just do the 0. Like 60 multiplied by 0, and the remainder is 5. Right? How can we know whether the functions are inbuilt or not? Okay. If you have created your own function, okay, which we are about to do, if you have created your own, that is the user-defined functions. The rest of them are all inbuilt functions. Okay. Right. So what is a function, first of all? Right? Functions are nothing but your blocks of code. Right? We are talking about functions. So they are the blocks of code which are returned to perform specific tasks. So any specific task that you can imagine of, you can write it in a function, right? So that is a block of code. And why do we make use of a function? Because a function will have its own name. And using that name, you can call it multiple times. So what is the main property of a function is it is reusability. It is the reusability property. So you can, functions are reusable. Okay. So within Python, you can define your own functions and also use the built-in functions. So just like what we did, these are the built-in functions: the sleep, local time, GM time, time, C time, E sleep. All of them are built-in functions. Okay. Then that is one type of functions. The other one is the custom one. That is your own function. Okay. So you can use your own functions. How do you do that? It is with the keyword called def. Okay, when you use a def and write a function name. So let us write our function name. Let's call it as greet. Okay, and this is where the parameters are taken. Okay, every function, it has the ability to take some inputs as the parameter. So I'll pass a parameter called name, right? And then this is the function body, similar to what we did with if, else, and all those blocks, code blocks. Similarly, this is the block of a function. So we can just print hello and then the name, right? So what happens? We have just defined this. What happens when I run this? Anyone has any idea? When I run this, what happens? Just type it in if you know. Okay, name not defined, nothing will happen. Name is not defined. Hello, it gives error. Okay, different answers. Okay, so when you run this, nothing happens except that this function will get recorded in your code. Okay, now this is called as the function definition, right? We have defined your function, what it is. Then you have to call your function, right? You have to call the function like this, greet, and pass what? So function name is greet. So using the name, you will call the function, and then what? Pass the name. Say Alice. So when you run this, now you get hello Alice, right? And can you use it to greet anyone? Right? Of course, right? Because you have written a generic function so that you can use any name and greet the people. If I say greet Charlie, it says hello Charlie. So you can understand that you'll be able to pass your custom value, the value that you want, and the same will be taken into the function, right? So that is why we make use of our own functions. All right. So I hope that clears what we are doing. And this is called as a parameter. What we are seeing here, it is called as a parameter. Okay. And this is called as an argument. Okay. Parameter is nothing but a placeholder for your values. I'll just type in parameters, and then this is the arguments. Parameter is the one that holds the placeholder for the actual, that is the value coming in, and argument is nothing but the actual value that you're passing into the function. Okay, that is the difference between a a parameter and an argument. You might be asked in an interview, a question like, what is the difference between a parameter and an argument? So then you will have to say, so this is what a function is. First start with the function, right? What exactly it is. And then a function takes some inputs, and those inputs are called as parameters. And when you are invoking a function, right, invoking or calling a function, you'll be passing the arguments. So can you pass just one parameter into a function? Is that the rule? No, you can use multiple, right? Let's say age. Okay, so you can do this. So hello, name, your age is age, and then what do you have to do? Pass the age here, say 20, right? So there is an error over here. Why is that? Because we did not run this block. So this block is not updated yet. So run it one more time and then use this. So now it has changed. It says, hello Charlie, your age is 20. Because we have passed our custom arguments and the parameters are taken into it. Okay, I hope you guys understood the basic working of a function, because this is the most basic of all, right? So from here you will be able to write your own functions, right? So we will also understand with a couple of examples now as we progress through this, right? But I hope this clears. If it is all clear, please type in yes, and we'll move on to the next one. Can we always define our own function, even if those functions are inbuilt? Okay. Yes, you can define your own function if you want, right? So for example, let's say that, take the example of the leap year. Okay, you can have your own function, which, where you can write the code to determine whether the given year is leap or not. Okay, so you can write your own function. That is the power of a custom function, right? What do you mean by an inbuilt function? It is nothing but developers like you have already created functions like this and stored within some library, so that you can, the future developers can make use of it, right? So that is what nothing but a library is. Library is nothing but a bunch of functions, a bunch of functionalities bundled into one unit. Okay, in this case, the unit is, that particular unit is time. So it has a bundle of functionalities. So using those, they will have written a function called ctime. So someone would have written a function called easeLeap, okay, some developer, and they have put it as a library, right? Are methods and functions same? So generally, functions are the ones that you write. Methods are coming from an object. For example, let's say you say time.time. So this becomes a method. This is a method, right? And it can be used, sometimes it can be used interchangeably also. Okay, right. Let's move on to the next, within the topic. So we learned how to define a function and then how to call a function, right? So let us learn pass by object reference or call by object reference. So to do this, we'll have to create a function, right? How do we create it? Using the def. So def, I'll use a function name. I'll call it modify list. Okay, and then let me print something. So I'll say inside the function, and this is before the modification. Okay, I am just printing my list, and that will be coming from the parameter. Okay. Next, what I'll do, I will try to modify the list. Okay, my list dot append. I'll say I'll just append something. So I can also take in the original, some list. So I'll do that in the next step. Don't worry about this. First, I'll just create the main code. So I'll take original list. Take a simple list, 1, 2, 3, and then I'll call the print and I'll add some string. I'll say before the function call, I'll just display the original list, what it contains. Next, I want to call the modify list and pass the original list as the argument. Then after the modification is done, I want to print one more time. It says after the function call and print the same original list. Okay. So now let's get back into our function definition. We have modify list function, which takes in the list as the parameter. Okay. Then first, once the function gets the function is started, we are just printing the list. Okay, that is inside the function before modification is done. Then we are going to modify something. So I'll just append a value. I'll append 4 into it. Next, what I'll do, I'll print one more time. Print inside the function after modification. What I'm printing? Just the list, my list. Okay. First, I'm going to run this cell. It says unterminated string literal. Okay. Yeah, sorry, we don't need this. So I'll run this. Then I'm going to run this main code. Okay. Now I know that it may be confusing, but now let us just try to understand. Okay, first we will do the output and then get into the code, what is happening. All right, it says before function call, what is the array or the list. So the list contains 1, 2, 3. Then I pass this into the function and print it one more time. Once I pass it into the function over here, the same list, I'll print it one more time. Inside the function, it is 1, 2, 3. That is before modification. So then I'm going to append something. Append means it is obviously being modified, right? The list is being modified. Then I'm going to print another statement saying that inside the function, that is after modification. Inside function, after modification, the list has changed. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So this is the story of your function. Now let us get back into our main code. Okay. So after we called this modify list, I ran a print statement one more time to check after the function call, what is the state of this original list. So you can see that original list has changed. That is 1, 2, 3 has become 1, 2, 3, 4. So what does this mean? So using a function, we were able to change the value, right? Or we were able to modify the entire list. So that is what we mean by the pass by object reference, right? So in this, so the function modify list, it takes the list as an argument. This one. Okay, this is the argument, right? So list as the argument, and you know that list is a mutable, it has a mutable property. Mutable means it can be changed, it can be modified. So any modifications made within the function, that is inside the function, will affect the original list also. So therefore, this is the mutable property we are talking about it. Okay. And this behavior is consistent with the idea of pass by object reference. Okay. So that is what we mean. It is just what it is called, but know that you had one object, right? One list, and you passed it into a function, right? You just pass the reference of it to the function, right? So here you're passing the original list, but here it is my list. It doesn't have to be the same. Okay. So now original list is linked to my list. Both are linked. So anything that happens to my list, it will affect the original list also. Okay, so that is what happened here. Right. I hope it is clear. I know that initially it was a little confusing, but let me know if it is clear in the chat. Okay, please type in yes if it is clear. If not, type in no. I want all of you to respond to this so that I understand, whether you are able to get it or not. Okay, I can see that majority is yes, it is 60-40, or I can see that there is more number of yeses coming in. Yeah, it is about 80-20. All right, anyway, I'll just explain it again. So this is nothing but you have a variable. The code execution starts from here. This is nothing but your function definition. We are defining the function. Okay, and you have a variable. Right? Variable is nothing but your original list where you have defined 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I am just I can just remove all of these. Okay, these might be too confusing. Okay, I can just say print original list before modification, original list, and original list. So after modification. Okay, I'll just make it simple for you guys. So now you can see what was the list before modification. It is 1, 2, 3. Then after the modification, it has changed to 1, 2, 3, 4. Why is that? It is simply because we are appending 4 into the list. So how did we do that exactly? So we passed this original list into the function. What is our function? It is modify list. Okay. So we passed it into the function. It took that and it appended 4 into it. Okay. So then what happened? Since both of these are linked, okay, linked as in it is just passing the reference of this variable. It is not passing the direct value, right? And it is passing the reference of it. Therefore, any changes that you make in my list will be reflected in original list also. So that is why original list here has changed. Okay, right. So let's move on to the next one. Okay. Yeah, so we'll talk about pass by value. So we did pass by reference now. So I'll do pass by value. Okay, I'll have to paste in some code because we do not have much time. Okay, but I will explain the code actually. Okay, right. Similar to this one, we have another function. Okay, forget about all of these. Okay, and we will have an original value which is 5, and then similarly we'll have some print original value before modification. See, this is the curse of copy paste. If you have a mistake and you copy paste the same thing, you are just replicating your mistakes. So be careful on that. So original value. You can take original list as my list, Chetan, because this is nothing but your variable, and it can be XYZ also, right? It can be some animal name, right? Some flower, anything, but as long as it makes sense to you and the people that you are working with. So original list is an appropriate name for this, is what I believe. That is why I've taken that name. Okay, right. So next, what we are going to do, we are going to call this reassign value, and we will pass this original value. Then we will have another print statement, original value before, that is after modification, right? So when we run this, can you guys type in two values? That is what is the first one, what is the second one in this case? Okay, I can see a lot of 5s and 10s. Okay, let's run this, and you can see that the original value before modification is 5, and after modification is also 5, right? This is a little strange, isn't it? That is because here we are taking an integer as the value, right? Integers are generally immutable. You can't really change an integer. If it is a list, you can change that, you can modify it. But can you modify an integer? No, you can just reassign it. So now you have original value as 5. Later, I can reassign it. How do I do that? I'll just say original value equals to 25. So essentially, it is removing this value and then replacing it with 25. Therefore, you can't really do any modification. So this is the pass by value. Okay, so you're just passing the value but not the reference. Therefore, this and this are not linked, right? So that is why it doesn't change. But in this, if you try to print the value of x, and when you call this, the value of x is 10. X is, see, the value of x is changed to 10, but original value remains intact. It doesn't get touched at all. Okay, right. So that is how it works. See, generally, there is no reference to it, right? This is the reference of this value. So you are passing this directly, but integer cannot be modified. It can be only reassigned. So that is the different properties between the list and the integer. That's it. Okay. So let us learn with a few more examples. So I'll have a function called as calculate. Okay. Then I'll have one result which says calculate of 5. Result 2, we'll say calculate of 5, 7. So in this, you can see that it is slightly different. Okay. It is not exactly the global and local variables yet. I'll get to that. Don't worry. So here we have a function which says calculate a comma b. So earlier it is just x or x comma y, right? Here name comma age, right? But here it is a little odd. There is a value assignment to b, right? So what this means, it is that it is the default value to be taken for b in case b is not present. Okay, in case b is not present, it says take this as the default value. Okay, so let me run this. Let me run this also, and we can view the result of each of them. Result 1 contains 15, right, as some of you have guessed, and result 2 will contain 12. Okay, so result 1 is having 15 because 5 is the value of a. Since we are not passing any value for b by giving comma b value, it is taking the b value as 10, right? So to understand that, you can print the value of a. That is value of a inside function is a. Value of b inside the function is b. So when I do this, I'll just comment this out. So when I run this result 1, it says value of a inside function is 5. That is correct. Value of b inside the function is 10 because we are not passing anything. So for the same thing, if you pass some value, I'll pass 1. Now it changes to 1. B value changes to 1 because you are explicitly passing the value of b. Okay, so this is called as the default parameter. Default parameter because you are assigning it. Okay. So next. All right. So return and print. I'll get to that. I think I have specific examples for the return. But anyway, why don't we just do it right here? So return is a statement which helps us to send the values back into the function. Okay. So if I don't give return in this case, and I'll just do a plus b. Okay. So it is actually doing the a plus b. That is, in this case, 5 plus 1. It should be 6, right? But what happens when I run this and I try to run result 1? This moment it is giving me 6. Hold on. That is because we already had it. I'll change this. So I'll give 10, comma 5. Okay. So when I run this, there is no value in result 1. Why? Because we are not returning the computed value. So we have done the computation, but you have to return the value into the function. So when you return it, this result 1 is able to catch the value of a plus b. Otherwise, result 1 will contain nothing. If I give print result 1, it prints none. There is no result. So therefore, you have to give return. Then what happens? It gets the computed value. So you can return anything. Okay, you can return a string, you can return an object, you can return a computed value, right? Anything at all. Okay. Right. So next, we will go through a few more concepts, and we have about 15 minutes. Right. So next is, by the way, is the concept clear till this one? Any questions? Please type in yes if it is clear. Okay. So these are the fundamental aspects for your functions. So when you understand these, you'll be able to do pretty much anything within the function. Right. So next, let us learn what a lambda function is, right? A lambda functions or the anonymous functions. So, in this, your function can go up to n number of lines, right? Line number n, and it can be of of this. It could be of any length, basically, and you'll have to do all of these. Have this entire structure def, then give the function name, then the parameter and everything. Okay, but what if it is a very small function, right? A very small function. For that, would you waste the time and space to write a function? And if you are doing it just one time, right? Probably not, right? But that is the reason why we have lambda functions. So lambda functions are small anonymous functions which are defined using the lambda keyword. Okay, they are the small anonymous functions which is defined using the keyword called as lambda. So this is the syntax of a lambda function. Syntax means it starts with the keyword lambda and then takes in the arguments and then the expression of those arguments. Then it returns some value. Okay, so this is the syntax. Okay. Now let's try to write a lambda function. Okay, it could be as simple as adding two numbers itself. Okay, let's take a variable called add. What is the first thing that we have to do? Add the keyword lambda. Then take in your arguments. What are your arguments? If you want to add two numbers, let's take a comma b or x comma y. Anything. It can be anything. So those are the arguments. So once you are done taking your arguments, add a colon. So this is the syntax, right? This is how we write the lambda expressions. So add a colon. After that, write your expression. Right? Expression is what? I want to add two numbers. What is the two numbers? X and y. So what is the operation or the expression? It is nothing but x plus y. Right? It is as simple as that. Next. So I'll take, I'll take the result as, so add is the function name. So I have declared the function here. See, this is all the function declaration done. Okay, let's keep it in one cell. Next, we will take a result, result variable, and call the add function. So this is still a function, by the way. So add, pass any two numbers, 4, 6, and then print your result. So it gives us 10, right? Isn't it a simpler way of writing a function? So what it takes one keyword lambda, so that it understands, so Python understands that it is a lambda function. Then it takes in the arguments. What are the arguments? I'll paste one of the code here. Same thing if you have to write in a function, right? So def add x comma y. Then you'll have to do return x plus y, and then call add of, let's say, 2 comma 3, and it will give you 5, right? So this is the function, normal function. But same thing, the same thing can be written in lambda like this. So lambda x comma y is nothing but your parameters. Then after that you get a colon. Then x plus y. X plus y is your what? Your function body, right? That is the operation that you are carrying out in your function, right? After that, you have already assigned it to a variable. right? That is already done, right? Next, what you have to do, using that variable, that is add, call that function. That's it. So if I do this, add 20, 30, it gives me 50 directly. I don't even have to assign it to a variable at all. So I'll give 789 some random numbers, right? It gives the output, right? I hope you guys understood what lambda functions are. So it is nothing but a short way of writing your function when you're carrying out some simple operations, right? It is a way of writing a function in a single line. That's it. It reduces the complexity. Okay, yeah. Correct. So let us write a few lambda functions similar to that. So how do we multiply something? So multiply can be a function. Starts with the lambda keyword, then takes in two numbers, x comma y. And if you want to multiply three numbers, why don't you take one more, x comma y comma z, and then write your expression, right? Next is the expression part. So expression is x multiplied by y multiplied by z. Then what do? Multiply of 1, 2, 3. So if you do this, you get 6. 1 multiplied by 2 is 2. 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. Right? Quite simple, isn't it? Right. Similarly, you can give a square of a number. Right? Square lambda takes in only one parameter. Right? That is, it has only one parameter. So here x is the argument. Okay, then you have your expression x squared, right? So you print this and you get 16, right? Next, if you want to check whether a number is even or odd, right? So that is, this is just for even, right? So you give is even of, let's say 3. It gives me false, so it is odd. So is even of this number gives me false. If I change it to 8, gives me true, right? So you can take, whether it is even or not, you will be able to get it, right? Amar, I can see that many are asking for the attendance link. Can you please share that?
We'll post it again.
Right. So anything concerned to the LMS or attendance, Amar will be taking care of it. Please, directly message him, because I want my chat box to have your questions, your queries, right? Not about the attendance link. I am not taking care of that at the moment. Okay. Right. So using Lambda, we can also reverse a string. Guys, we know how to reverse a string now. We know how to reverse a list. Similarly, we can reverse a string also, right? Reverse string equals to lambda. Then it takes a string. I can just represent it by s for string, or you can take anything literally. Then s of, yes, I can see we have given the answer, colon, and then -1, right? So reverse the string of anything, hello, right? It has reversed the entire string, and you can type in anything, right? And that is how it works. And with the help of this, can you not check whether a string is a palindrome or not, given string, right? You can. So one is the actual string that you get, and second is the result that you get. Just compare it. If they are equal, If both of them are equal, then it is a palindrome. If not, it is not a palindrome, right? Let's say 1001, right? It is a palindrome. Okay, right. So with the help of logic, you can write your own. Okay, next. If you want to add all the numbers together, right? So you can use something like this. Lambda, your numbers, and then use the sum of all the numbers. Okay, right. Any questions in the Lambda functions? I believe it is quite easy, and much simpler than your regular functions. So you will write a Lambda functions only when it is a simple operation like this, not for everything. Okay. Lambda function is not going to make every single function simple. What if your function has like tens of lines of code? It will be, you can do it with the Lambda function, but it will be complex. It will become complex to write one. Okay. So, right. So next, we are going to go through a couple of other examples. Okay. So I have a function called print args. Okay, so there is something called star args, args. So what this means, let's say that you don't know how many arguments that you might get, okay, when you're calling a function. So then you will use star args. In this case, in other cases, yeah, take this itself. You know that 2 arguments will be coming. What if you pass one more, right? It throws an error because it is expecting only 2 parameters. Your function expects only 2 parameters, but 3 arguments are given. Okay, and in this case, again, it says missing one required positional argument, y. Right? You are given x, but not y. Okay. How to write x plus y star z in Lambda function? Same thing, right? You just change the into plus. That's it. No other difference. Okay. So we were talking about the parameters here, right? So if you do not know how many parameters that you get, you will add something like this, star args. And then, how do you call it? Let's say I have different kinds of arguments for this, like 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5. And all of them are different data types also, right? Integer, string, and you have a list as well. So when I print this, it is going to print all of them, right? So that is what it is. And it will take any number of arguments. It can be 0 or more. Print the args, and I'll just comment this out. So when you do this, it takes all the arguments into a tuple like this. Okay, so that is what we mean by star args. And even if you don't pass anything, it will just print empty tuple because there are no arguments. Right? You can pass any number of them just like this. I'll just copy paste the same, right? And it will print as many arguments that I pass. Okay, hope it makes sense. Any questions in this? Okay. Perfect. So let's move on to the the keyword args. Okay. So that is defined with KW ARGS. Okay. So what does this mean? it expects the keywords, key, something like this. So you will take the same function, and then if you try to pass like 1, 2, 3, it will throw some error saying that print kw args, it takes 0 positional arguments, but 3 were given. These are nothing but the positional arguments. Okay, but you also have arguments with where you can add a keyword. I'll say 1 equals to 1, 2 equals to 2, then 3 equals to 3. So when I do this, it gives me the arguments, right? And when you try to print this, what it contains a dictionary, right? It is nothing but your key value pairs. Okay, right. So it will expect something like this. What if you change the order of it? 2, 1, 3, right? So it it prints according to the order that you have passed. Okay, so that's how it works, right? So that is about the arguments and keyword arguments. So next, there is a combination of arguments and keyword arguments. That is, how do you do that combination? It is by mentioning both of them. Okay, so what you can do, you can take both positional arguments and also the keyword arguments. Positional arguments are these, what we did here, right? These are the positional arguments, right? They have no keys. And these are the keyword arguments. Okay. Then how do you navigate through this? How do you use them? You can give that is, we are just printing these args, right? The positional ones. Let us also print the keyword args. Okay, so we are just combining this and this. Okay, nothing else. So when we try to execute this function with some parameters, that is with some arguments, you can see 1, 2, 3 are the positional arguments, and then you have your keyword arguments also. It takes a combination of it. This takes a combination of both. But what if I try to make this as a keyword argument? I'll give 1 equals to 1, right? Then it throws an error because it is expecting all the positional arguments to be given first and then the keyword arguments. Okay, you can't do in between, right? First finish off your positional arguments, give any number. It can be from 0 to n. And then you can start with your keyword arguments. Okay, then again you can't go ahead with your positional arguments one more time, right? You have to separate them both. Okay, that's what we do with this. Okay, right. Any questions with this? Okay. If I mention args, can I send any number of arguments? Yes, Yashwant. That is the main motto behind this, right? If we do not know how many arguments are coming in, right? Yes, instead of having argument 1, 2, 3, and so on, you'll have to define like this. The same thing, if you had to use it without the star args, you'll have to say arg1, 2, 3, right? But what if while calling you will pass n number of arguments like this, right? It says print args takes only 3 positional arguments, but 12 are given. Here number of arguments are 12. So therefore, if you just remove this and add star args. And now it is able to take n number. It can go up to any number, literally any number. Okay. Yes, I will be sharing the Python, that is the IPYNB file, IPython notebook file. You will be able to access it through the LMS. Okay. Any other questions before we wrap it up? I know it is already 9:06. Okay. If you do not have any questions, certainly we can drop off, guys. And in the next class, we will be learning about the scope of variables, then decorators, how to do the recursion. Recursion is a common thing that you encounter in an interview, right? It is a very important topic, which we'll be saving for Monday. Then we have the map, reduce, and the filter functions, which are inbuilt, but we are going to learn how it works, right? Right. Then we are also going to understand, how do import statements work. For now, we just imported a few libraries, right? So we will understand a bit more into the import statements, how to locate the modules, how to understand what current directory is, what is the Python path, and everything, right? So going forward, we'll be dealing with some complex, stuff in the Python. Okay. This is not in LMS yet. I'll have to upload it. I'll have to send it to Amar, and he will be uploading it in a bit. Okay. You don't really require a screenshot in this because I'm sharing the entire notebook with you guys. Don't bother taking screenshots. And also, I have the notes, which is already in the LMS. It should be there. Amar, have we uploaded yesterday's exercise file?
Yeah, I shared with him. I hope it's uploaded. If not, I will check once again. But
Yeah.
for sure, it will be there.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, please do that. I'll be sharing one more today, along with
Yeah, sure.
get it updated. Thank you. Okay, right. If there are no questions, we can drop off. Guys, I know that it is also your weekends. So utilize your weekends to understand what we did so far. Try all of them. Try all of them on your own. Use your own values, use your own variables, right? Use your own defined functions and see what kind of outputs that you get. And with this, you will get more comfortable. Otherwise, Python can be scary, and not just Python. It can be any programming. It can get scary when you haven't really dealt with it yourself. So I may teach it 100 times, the same thing 100 times, but you are going to learn only when you practice by yourself. Okay, when you practice, you will also learn and you will also remember it. Right? When you're asked a question, you will be able to recall that. Correct? So I would suggest utilize this weekend, go through the concepts, right, and refresh your memory by practicing the same. Okay, that is going to help you out a lot. Okay, just a couple of more weeks and you will be able to understand how Python works, and you will be able to create your own Python code, your own scripts. Okay, all right, so we'll be talking more about this in detail in the coming weeks, and yeah, we'll be meeting on Monday, same time. Right. Any questions for Amar? Anything on the LMS or anything? Please let us know.
Yes, guys, there is no any class on Saturday, Sunday. So our next session will be on Monday at same time.
Yes. So enjoy your weekends, with practicing. Okay. Don't actually enjoy your weekends, guys. Just a couple of them. Okay.
Guys, if you have any career question, let me know. If no, then just confirm no. Then we'll wind up for today.
Okay then. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. And I hope this was a valuable session for you, because with the help of this, you can create your own script. You can create your own functions, right? And solve your own, any business problems, any mathematical problems, or anything that you want, right? So go through all of these concepts and you will be able to do things on your own. And Python will be in your fingertips, in just a few weeks, right? It is all about practicing. That's the key. Okay. We'll talk about the projects later. Maybe I can give you a small project to do on your own. But at this point, you can't really work on any project, right? Because you are still in the beginning. So once it is done, you guys have I'll give you some problem statement. You can work on it, right? That can be your small project. Okay. Thank you, everyone. You all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday, same time. Yes, and the notes is already shared, and today's IPython notebook will also be shared. Yeah. Thank you.